everyone. Welcome to Foresight's Computation Group. We're really excited to have Linda Petrini on today. She's an AI researcher, and she's been collaborating with us to build our AI tech tree. So thank you, Linda, for joining us.
Thank you, Lydia, for the intro. So, hi, everyone. My name is Linda Petrini, and today, I'll be introducing you to the secure AI tech tree, mapping our way to trustworthy AI. Imagine you are just getting started with secure AI. You care about AI, you want to understand more. You maybe are a founder that knows some amount about AI, but doesn't necessarily understand everything about the field. You open up like Google and you search secure AI and you get 500 million results. So where to even start? The field is moving so fast. There are new research papers, new terms, new apps, new capabilities developed like daily. So it's really hard to even know where one is standing in this mess. Yeah, that's part of the reason why we built this secure AI tech tree. So we're really missing a shared map and understanding of what's actually happening. The tech tree is this attempt to solve this problem, building an interactive map that allows one to really get a sense of what are the main goals that the field is trying to solve, what are the main open challenges, and what are some advancements and actors that are working in the field. So before diving into the tree, I wanted to give you a high-level overview. So we identified 5 core goals for secure AI, starting from cooperative AI ecosystems and privacy-preserving collaboration, secure and robust systems, transparent and verifiable AI, and finally, aligned AI agents. These are 5 main areas. We are gonna dive into them in a second, and they're all necessary for secure AI to be possible. This is by no means a comprehensive list of all the sub-goals that are necessary, but it's an attempt to kind of start to have a shared map. I'm gonna show you the tree now. I'm also gonna give you the link, and you're all welcome to, let's see if I can copy paste the link. You're all welcome to follow along and to experiment yourself as we go. So here is the tree. I'm gonna just move this Zoom thing from here, sorry. Okay, so here is the tree. It's pretty big, there's a lot going on. I'm gonna give you an overview of what's happening. So as I mentioned, we have our secure AI parent node, and then these 5 main sub goals. So the kind of logistics of effective cooperation. So avoiding conflict, finding and achieving mutually beneficial outcomes. We have the question of how to preserve privacy. So we collaborate on sensitive data and with like privacy and data security guarantees. Then even if we have like systems that can cooperate and that preserve privacy, someone might still be misusing them or attempting like some kind of adversarial attack, or there might be unforeseen failure modes. I'm not following the chat. Do let me know if you're having any problems, just like opening the tree. Yeah. And now we have transparent and verifiable AI. So in this epoch of black box decision making, being able to really identify why specific decisions were making is fundamental for establishing trust and accountability within the long-term cooperation. And then finally, alignment. So making sure that as AI systems become ever more advanced, they are still aligned with human values and intentions. A little note on colors. So here in orange, we will have challenges, and in green, we have advances, so leverage points for progress. You're all welcome to explore the tree in depth by yourself. Today, we're gonna focus a bit more on cooperative AI ecosystems. I'm going to show you how to navigate this tree, what kind of content is there. So we have, again, the main node. The main node then has a few concrete technologies that are being developed to advance this specific goal. And it also has an actors subnode. You can notice this little icon in the bottom. That means that this specific node has more content written in it, so you can double click on it and you will find yourself on this list of labs and research groups that care about cooperative AI. And we have startups and small AI companies, nonprofit organizations, and finally funders. And you can find a similar list for all of the different goals. Okay, so we have these sub-goals. For example, we have cooperative multi-agent learning algorithms, communication protocols between AI agents for negotiation and sharing intent, automated conflict resolution. So here are like just several different avenues of like concrete examples of cooperative AI. And then for each of these, for example, we can look at robust communication protocols. We have identified 3 challenges among the many possible ones. So, for example, agents lacking common communication standards might develop private languages that are inefficient or even deceptive for humans and each other. And then in green, we have one suggested direction to develop in that challenge. So developing standardized AI speak protocols or languages for interagent communication. Okay, so yeah, all of this is a lot. The whole tree is around 300 nodes. This could be a little overwhelming. How can we deal with that? One way is, one of the best features of this tech tree is the ability to chat with it. So you might ask, for example, tell me more about multi-agent coordination challenges. So I have just a few questions that I tried asking and that I'm happy with the results. If I'm just like new to this field and trying to better understand specifically this branch of the tree, I might ask about these specific challenges, and it does mention a few of them. As we have like in more and more agents, the optimal decision making becomes like exponentially intractable. Agent can have partial information or misaligned goals. In decentralized systems, it's particularly hard to have a strategy because a single defector can disrupt collective outcomes. So it gives us like a few examples of what could be happening. Oh, sorry. And we also might want to ask who are some key researchers working on, for example, cooperative learning algorithms. And it's going to go look in this list and identify specifically what topics we care about. And it gives us an answer. It mentions a few different research labs. And again, we might ask, what's the difference between the first researcher mentioned here and this other research group? And it will tell us, for example, that Dr. Yali Du's lab is more concerned with RL, while CMU is more working on game theoretical approaches for AI cooperation. So if I am new to this field and like trying to understand who to talk to or what to talk about, this can like just help direct where to move my attention. Okay, so that was for exploring one specific node. Okay, sorry, Zoom is making it a bit complicated to share slides. So we saw what are like some ways to examine one specific branch of the tree, but one might prefer to address the tree in its overall context. And there are a few different ways in which the tree could be useful for someone. So for a newcomer, and we're going to see examples now, but for a newcomer, they might have a specific background and they might ask, what do they do with that background? For funders, it might help navigate or understand better the funding landscape. For researchers, is a way to maybe get like a bit of that in different fields than the ones they are specialized in. And for networking, for finding collaborators. So I'm going to show a few examples. First, I'm going to select all nodes with Command A on a Mac. Very helpful. And then, yeah, so maybe someone has this background in policymaking and they're asking how they can contribute to the field. So now we gave it a bit more context, so it's thinking a bit longer. Of course, the demo is when it takes much longer than usual. Maybe we can try again. Oh, some error. You can just gonna reload. Oh, okay, it was getting there. Try again. But yeah, the beauty of live demos. So yeah, here are some examples of where one might start to look for ways to apply their knowledge. Or we might be interested in quiz funding projects in some specific subdomain. Here again, it points us in a few different directions, highlighting the ability to identify different actors in the space. And finally, maybe I'm like working on specifically AI sandboxing and I want to know who else is in the field. Maybe I'm again starting to work on something and the tree can help orient. Okay, so this was a bit of a demo of how the tree can be used. I would love to be honest about the limitations of this tree. So of course, this is not a definitive map of the field. It moves too fast. It's really almost impossible for someone to make a concrete map. Some details are unavoidably outdated. It's not comprehensive. The AI just it has all the limitations of using an LLM anywhere. And hallucination is an issue, though with the context of the tree is actually pretty reliable. I very rarely had very wild hallucinations, and I tried a few different answers. But I would always invite to double check any specific claims. Why it's still valuable? It's very much a living document that can be updated. And I'm going to tell you more about how we actually built it in a second. It's really meant to be a starting point for exploration. So again, not the final answer, but a way into a field that might be new or confusing or just overwhelming. It is to this date one of the most comprehensive mappings that exist. Another notable project is by the Foresight Institute that's going in a similar direction. It makes this complex field somewhat more navigable, and it really allows for more coordination. So for someone to know who to talk to. I wanted to tell you a bit more about how this was built. And to do so, I wanted to show you the one of these three. So this was built almost a year ago, and it was built a lot more organically. It also had 5 main sub-goals, but they were a bit different, also interesting. And I was really building this by hand. This was before deep research appeared, and I was already starting to be overwhelmed by just the effort of, filling in and trying to follow what's happening and kind of update the tree. What happened is Coordination Networks, which is the team behind the tool that we've been using for these tech trees. I'm gonna show back to the main tech tree. We worked together to basically allow AI generation of a tree. The process was very helped, supported by deep research, in that there was a back and forth in identifying what is the topics that we're looking for, what is the shape of the tech tree. The format of MarkMap was particularly helpful so that we could actually generate something in the structure of a tree. And then, there were like several iterations of extracting insights from the latest papers and really generating the main structure of the tree. And then me and some other humans validating and curating the final outcome. So this is already an example of one human AI collaboration process evolving even over the span of this one project. Beyond the use cases that I briefly showed you, this also enables some other possible features in the not too distant future. So one is right now, the nodes of the tree are empty. If you double click on a specific node, it doesn't really go deeper into the node. But of course, it's possible to imagine each of these node being filled in with specific pointers at people that are working on that technology, on papers mentioning the challenges that are being encountered, and a lot of information that could potentially go there. The way to automatically fill that in using LLMs and web research and all of the different technologies that are being developed is currently almost ready, I think. I think Martin is here and can confirm everything I'm saying. He's been developing the tool. So another feature that is enabled is expert vetting. So you can imagine experts from all of these different fields having their say in the specific nodes and maybe suggesting new nodes or suggesting edits and giving the possibility to coordinate between many different experts that have specific domain knowledge about all of the different fields and maybe don't necessarily have the higher level picture, but they can contribute to their part. The ability to use any AI model. So right now, the AI assistant is ChatGPT, but it's soon coming, the ability to prompt any model. Another cool feature is to add, prediction market is not quite the right word, sorry, but forecasting, basically allowing people to bet on whether or to express their chances that some specific capability or technology will be developed and when. So that could also help shape the tree and help maybe decide which branches are more interesting to map out further. There is the automation of skills, for example, constructing a tech tree. So the way I was manually doing at the beginning is already being automated through the tool, the platform that we've been using, and a way to maintain credit assignment throughout this automation. There is now a way to identify a specific skill and credit the person who created the skill first. And finally, some way to better coordinate funding, also maybe related to forecasting, where someone might decide to give more funding to something that people think is more likely to happen, and just having a concrete laid out map of what is happening can really support that process. Okay, that was my introduction to the tech tree. Here is the link again, and you can learn more about me and the kind of work that I do. And I want to thank the Foresight Institute, the Future of Life Institute, who funded this project, and Coordination Networks for all of the support. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Linda. I think there are some questions in the chat. Matthew wondered, what do the number of tokens mean under each node?
The number of tokens are the number of nodes that are selected at the moment. So tokens in the nodes. So if I select all of these nodes, it got 6,000 tokens. If I select the whole tree, it's taking a while, and it's 30,000 tokens. And the AI chat will only look at the context from those nodes.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions?
I have a question, if I may.
Go right ahead.
Yes, thank you very much for this presentation. I'm in the process of doing something similar for longevity, and I was wondering, the AI and the AI direction is very interesting, and I was wondering what plans you have for that, what shortcomings, and what would help in general, because that's a very interesting aspect to make it easier for people to interact with it and faster make progress.
So the main one of course, is hallucinations right now. Like while building the tree, like really checking and like fact checking everything that was added is a lot of work. I think that's like increasingly also automatable away, but first working directly on like maybe fact checking from multiple sources and like from people that have a more deep and concrete knowledge of a specific field is one way around this. And the other, I think, is like super important to be clear about the scope and about the process, not claim that this is like perfectly human created, but be clear about, like there is some AI involved and all of the considerations about AI involvement apply here too. But I think it like really enables a completely different scale of approach to this sort of map, which is gigantic work for one human.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much, Stacey. Thank you.
Let's see. I think Jazir, did you have a question? Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions?
I'd like a comment. I guess it's in the form of a question. I wanted to find the node for watermarking, and I asked the Message AI how to do that after I ran a search, and it basically was unavailing. It could be my odd browser. I'm using Brave. It doesn't always work well. But so I was trying to find, this is relative to my suggestion, if you want to take it up, to have something about copyright infringement. And I think watermarking is as close as possible. And as a kind of a side note, Linda, I thought I want to look at this watermarking node, and it wasn't that easy to find. On my browser, I ran a search, I found the address, I put it in the search function. It didn't come up. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So two things, actually. Think about copyright, please. I'd be really eager to learn more about that. And then maybe revisit the searching function. It's not working on my browser. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I was just like trying to see, and if I look for it, as I just did, I'm able to find it, but I think it's in.
I did find it. Yeah, I ran a search. Basically, I asked the AI, tell me where the watermarking node is in the tree, and then I traced it down.
Yeah. Yep. Noted. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure there is like 1,000 things that still like very much would fit this tree and need to be added. Yeah.
It is awesome though. Again, thank you. This is great. Don't let that hold you back.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Thank you so much, Linda, for everything. Thank you, everyone, for joining the launch, and we will see you back here next month. So have a great rest of your day.